Mic check. Let's figure out who's who on here. Let's see.
Me.
I'm track 4. Okay, so I just gotta make sure that.
What track am I?
You're track 3.
3. That's not a good number.
Unlucky. What?
That's a bad luck number.
No, isn't 13 a bad luck number?
No, 13's a good number. I like 13.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a good luck number.
No, it's not.
Everyone thinks it's bad, but it's good.
Friday the 13th.
Well, Sarah Winchester's favorite number was 13.
And look how insane she went.
She wasn't insane. She was rich and generous. And
No, she was insane. She built a house that has no end.
But
she literally built a no-end house.
She's a legend because of that. Yeah, the no end. But she is now a legend because of that. So she's well known now.
She's an urban legend. She's an urban legend.
Anyway,
she's
sick.
a myth. What? Are you gonna call in sick now?
Yeah.
Huh? Am I gonna have to
I
carry
have the
the
virus.
show?
I have the virus. I have the
Ryan Gosling.
The Ryan Gosling virus.
The Ryan Gosling flu.
Yep, that's what I got. The Goss. They call it the Goss 2.7 virus.
So I'm Johnny Zuko here with my co-host Elisa. And we're if you didn't pick up on that reference, we are obviously talking about
Antiviral.
Brandon Cronenberg's feature debut.
Everyone knows his father, David Cronenberg.
The Fly.
The Fly 2, Scanners, Shivers. I could go on and on and on.
Well, not Fly 2. He wasn't.
Well,
he wasn't a part of it.
But he, if it wasn't for the Fly, they wouldn't have been a Fly 2.
No, if it wasn't for like greedy studio execs, it wouldn't be no Fly 2.
True, that's true.
And then the Fly 2 was just not good.
You liked it. Hello, your last podcast, like you totally dissed it in the beginning, and then at the end you're like, "Oh, I actually liked this movie. I enjoyed it. I was entertained."
I actually did like The Fly 2, and it was entertaining. I had a lot of giggles, and I thought it was a movie that didn't take itself so seriously, and I think that's why it works so well.
Yeah.
Unlike the movie we're going to talk about today,
which is very serious.
Which kind of took a serious approach, but it didn't take itself serious. I felt every performance in this movie was serious. It's
a very serious movie, and this movie is very hard to explain actually to people because I've tried to get people to watch this and they're like, "Huh?
How do you pitch this movie?"
So I actually wrote it down because
I want to hear this. I got to hear this.
I had to write this down because pitching a movie is really hard, right? Especially a sci-fi movie it's really hard to get people to like understand what you're talking about. Okay. So here it is. Antiviral is a film about a man named Syd March who works at a clinic called the Lucas Clinic. I wonder if that's like a George Lucas pun?
Reference?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, so he works at the Lucas Clinic who buys viruses from sick celebrities and then sells them to obsessed fans who want to be infected with the same virus. So kind of very ahead of its time with all this celebrity mania that's going on. On the side, Syd steals the viruses from the clinic and undoes the copy protection on them and sells them on the black market. Through doing that, Syd becomes infected with a deadly virus and has to try to solve the mystery around it to save himself, which is also has affected a famous celebrity that at the end you kind of learn that he's a fanboy of.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
See, I didn't get that.
I did because okay, so like let's back it up here. So there's a famous celebrity in this called Hannah Geist.
And she's like the Kim Kardashian of like
this world that they're
in. And it's crazy because she is everywhere.
She's everywhere. Yeah. And this movie came out 2011, I believe. So this was very ahead of like there was Instagram back then, but it wasn't how it is like now.
Yeah.
And there was Facebook back then, but at this time, marketing companies.
Social media at this time was still in its infancy. It hasn't gotten to the point where it is now.
It wasn't ads every 5 seconds, and it wasn't celebrities selling things like on Facebook or Instagram, which they're doing now. Mm-hmm. They're selling fragrances, they're selling makeup, they're selling placenta, like who the fuck knows? Like they're selling all kinds of weird stuff. So this was very ahead of its time. So this came out 2011. Couldn't find it anywhere. Waiting and waiting.
I read that it did festival tours, but only in Canada.
It did Cannes and I think it was
Canada.
TIFF too. Yeah, TIFF as well.
And after that, like it kind of just quietly got dumped on Netflix.
Not even like
2013, 2014. Like,
yes, it took a while. 2012, I was like, when the? Because I was working at a film festival at the time, and I was asking them if they were going to show it, and they're like, oh, we haven't heard of this. And I was just like anticipating and waiting. So once it came out on DVD, it wasn't even out in America. I had to buy the UK version. And if you buy the UK version, everyone knows if you want to watch it on your laptop, it's a different zone code. So you have to change region player. Yeah, you have to change your region zones. So I went through like so much trouble just to watch this movie. And that was like 2012. And then Netflix got it like 2013, 2014. And it was on Hulu. It's not on there anymore.
It's not, no.
So it's not even on it's not even on Netflix anymore.
No, I think you can still get the DVD.
You could, yeah, but it's not streaming.
Yeah, you can stream this on Prime for like $3.99 or $3.99.
Yeah.
Look, when I wasn't into it, like I'm not a sci-fi guy, so to me, sci-fi is like my least favorite genre out there, unless it's like RoboCop, I guess maybe because I like RoboCop, Total Recall, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't like movies like Gattaca or like 2001 stuff like that.
Oh my god, Gattaca was amazing.
Don't tell me that's one. Don't tell me that's one. That's
no, it's not. It's not on my list. It's not on my. But Gattaca is a fucking amazing movie.
But when I saw it, though,
and 2001, that was a revolutionary film.
Yeah, but when I saw those films, though, I was still a teenager, and I wanted to see movies like I wanted to see blood. I wanted to see guts. I want to see nudity. That's the thing with horror.
That's the thing with horror. It's tricky because I love blood and guts and slasher is my favorite genre, but at the same time there's just something about body horror that freaks me out, and I feel a lot of sci-fi horror because this is a body horror movie.
Yeah, it is,
hands down.
It is.
And just like his dad has done, tons of body horror movies, and people just dismiss it, like they shit on it, and and I talked about this last time where it pisses me off because people don't give it a chance. And
it's too weird for them. That's what it is.
But the really weirder, the better. You think people would encourage the weirdness factor, but they don't.
I think it's way too weird for people to like handle. It's like it deals with a lot of crazy stuff.
Do you think that's why a lot of these aren't successful? But like 20 years later, they're cult.
Yeah, they're
films?
cult followings.
Like I think Antiviral is going to be a cult film. This is a cult film, and I've said that from the very beginning.
Yeah, this is a cult film, like in the making. I don't even know if like a lot of people know about this movie.
They don't.
Or if, because I don't see a whole lot about this movie.
Yeah, there's like nothing. There's like barely anything on it.
Even like certain movies have like analysis or stuff like that. This one does not have one.
Yeah, it's very mysterious. I don't know.
But what I was trying to say though is like when I saw those movies, I wasn't into them because of the maturity age that I was in.
Yeah.
Had I seen this like around that age frame, I probably wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And so like as you grow, your maturity grows, and so you start looking at films differently now. Like films that I liked back then, I don't like now. Like I don't like Three Ninjas. I don't like Teenage Ninja Turtles Part 2. I like the first one a lot, but I don't like Part 2.
Yeah, you're wearing a Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I'm wearing a Turtle shirt too. Yeah. But the thing is that like I don't know, like those movies just didn't resonate with me as an adult as certain other movies.
Yeah.
But this one resonated with me as a point where I'm like, shit, that is really fascinating. Think about it.
And it's fucked up. It's such a fucked up idea.
It is.
Selling a celebrity virus, if you're a fan. This would be like, oh, okay, I love Kim Kardashian. I want like her ass. I want to eat a part of her ass. Or I want
her ass on my handbag.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. But I think like, who knows, the rate at we're going right now, this could happen. You know?
But you hear celebrities like talk about it, and they're saying like, I find fans going through my garbage
going in their house.
Russell Crowe even said like, I found like a pair of boxers that I used to own on eBay.
Yeah,
and those things went for like $1,000 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's so
you know what
weird.
I mean? So this is not so far from this movie's not so far removed.
It's not so far fetched
from what was happening back then.
Yeah.
Now it's even worse because anyone, you know what I mean?
And there's so much access, right? Like you go on Instagram and you can go to your favorite celebrity, follow them, and they're posting and sharing a lot of stuff that's personal. So it's like you're their friend, or like you're welcome into their little world.
And that's the thing, is like But this movie takes it a step beyond, where it's like, you're not a friend. You can actually have a part of them in you. Or
eating because the So in this movie, there's not only viruses that you can inject, they grow meat, but it's skin cells in a meat, so you can eat that. So it's cannibalism.
And the meat looks gross.
I read I couldn't find this interview, but like when this first came out, I found an interview with Brandon Cronenberg, like how they made that. I think it was tempeh, which is part of a soy. It's like a soy protein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was like, what did they make this out of? I'm pretty sure it's tempeh.
Because it looks so bland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like, it doesn't look red. It's not pink or anything. Yeah. It looks bland.
It's like gray brown. Yeah.
And, when I saw those, I was thinking, man, like, I was thinking of clones.
Oh.
Because when you see like clones, like they're not like, because they're not fully developed, but they have that gray skin that look like aliens.
It's very alien-esque.
So that's what I was thinking about. I was like, oh shit, those look like clone skin cells. and then even the butcher says, I'm growing all this shit. Look.
The skin, he's growing like a skin cell little
in the back of a butcher shop.
Yeah. So Arvid is the guy that owns the butcher shop. He's working on the black market with Caleb Landry Jones's character, Syd March. So Caleb will go and give him, the thing he injected himself with and sell it to him. And this guy, like, off the bat, I didn't trust. You know
this
what I
mean?
mean?
This guy's a dirtbag.
He's a dirtbag. Like,
for sure, he's a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah, like I don't know. He would creep me out a little bit, but yeah, I don't like. It's really hard to like even break down this movie because first of all, it's very long. It is a very long film, and that is one thing. So I did not like about it was a little too long, and I
felt the pacing was a little because it starts off really well, but then it gets into the middle where it kind of
drags a little bit.
It drags, and the story doesn't pick up till like Syd meets his celebrity crush or whatever.
Hannah Geist, yeah.
But I was thinking about taking a different approach today, unlike how we did The Fly when we went step by step.
This is too. I don't think we can do this step by step.
I feel like we should have a conversation about this movie,
or our favorite scenes too.
We can do that. But I feel like a conversation about this movie because honestly, I was fairly impressed by this movie. But there's a lot of things that I just didn't quite grasp, or I just couldn't get.
And so I get that.
You said that Syd was a fan of Hannah.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Okay, and I'll break it down.
I got he was obsessed with her, but I didn't think that he was a fan of her. I just thought he just thought if I was Syd, I would be thinking that's a beautiful woman and I want her. But I wouldn't know the context of the celebrityism. You know what I mean? Because if you're living in a world where you could have people's skins graft onto your arm. Yeah. Or inject viruses into you. Yeah. And so that's where I was thinking that he was coming from. So I didn't get that he was a fan. So even when he's sitting on the bed.
That scene was amazing though. So that was one of the scenes where he's a fan, because so when Syd first talks about, he's trying to give his little pitch on selling a fan a virus, right? And it's that guy what's his name? Doug something.
Doug, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. Doug. So Doug comes in wanting her herpes virus. So he's pitching this idea, right? And you hear Syd's little speech like, I understand your fascination with her. And he has like that cool voice. And you can just see like his intent, like he's intense kind of when he's talking about it. And he's like eyeing her and just like, and then you see it throughout the film when he gives his pitches, when he gives it about this other celebrity area. They're not as intense, right? So you kind of see like, okay, maybe there's something a little more to this, but he has to keep it professional, right? So then that scene, someone fucks up and gets fired at the clinic. So then Syd has to go and actually take the virus himself from Hannah Geist. So he goes to the hotel, enters this room with all these flowers and stuff. And he sees her for the first time, but she's in bed and she has like that eye mask on. So he can't really actually see her. Yeah. Right? So he goes in and that seems very intense. And I read that he had to take a shot before doing
he got drunk before that.
Yeah. And they didn't meet. What's so great to me is they actually didn't meet each other. The actors.
Yeah, till
doing that scene.
No, I think she said they didn't meet till they met at the house where she was coughing up the blood. Because she even said, because I watched the making of Antiviral, she was talking about like, yeah, I told Brandon and everyone else, like, I didn't want to meet him. Like, I just want to be in bed.
And he didn't want to meet her either.
Yeah, and so, like, and even Caleb said in that interview, he was saying, like, I wanted the aura for us to build the kind of auras, like, about each other. Just have the assumption rather than know. You know what I mean? Because then it would influence the performance.
Yeah, he's like, it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect.
Yeah, and that scene was kind of intense, too, because it's like...
his mannerisms, and he's just kind of like, he looks at her...
And kind of unsettling, you know? It was like, it looked like it was kind of sensual by the way he was trying to, like...
Touching her
and injecting her.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, shit. But to me, I just thought it was more of an what's the word? Objectifying her.
Interesting.
To me, I felt like it was just more of an object, not someone that's
like
an
obsession.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I got from it.
At the end, you get he's a fan, right?
Okay, so the ending, I don't get.
Okay, so what do you not get? So spoiler, well, it's like this movie's so hard to break down. I'm trying to figure out.
It's a spoiler from the get-go, so.
All right, so at the very end.
So she dies, right?
Yeah, so Caleb has this Syd, his name's Caleb Jones, but his name is Syd. Syd has the same virus that Hannah Geist has, and it's very deadly. And someone did it on purpose. So he's infected with what she has, and he's like freaking out because she is like literally dying, and he doesn't want to do that. Obviously, he doesn't want to die from this, even though he loves her and he's like obsessed with her. He doesn't want to die from this. So at the very end, he finds a way to make a profit and save himself. So they sell this afterlife thing to Vaughn and Tesser, I think. Vaughn, that's the competitor of the Lucas Clinic. So they do this whole afterlife thing. So you know the skin cells that Arvid had in his back room? Mm-hmm. Caleb steals that idea and makes that out of Hannah Geist. So when you see that like weird green machine thing, you see half of her face as those cells. That's what that is.
Okay.
So she's still like decomposing, but they're marketing and profiting off of that and this whole afterlife thing. And then her arm is perfectly intact, right? That's like the only thing that's like left of her pretty much, besides the other half of her face. So at the very end of all of this, everyone goes away and he opens it and he like punctures a little hole on her arm and
he slits it actually and puts his mouth on it.
And he sucks it, yeah. So
like a fucking vampire.
He's just like weird. So like that, if you don't get that he's obsessed with her by that point, I don't know what to tell you.
I got that he was obsessed, but to me, I didn't understand why he would do that, because to me, she was still infected with the virus. At that point.
He was cured already at that point.
Well, that doesn't mean that you can't get it again.
But she's done. So
but that doesn't mean the virus is done with
you're dead.
They
probably had something that, they did something that they gave him or that they put in her to like not make him get infected again.
And then what was the whole assassination plot with killing Hannah Geist? I was that even needed?
Because Vaughn and Tesser wanted that account.
So it was V&T the one that put the hit on her.
V&T was the one. So Derek Lessing, who worked for the Lucas Clinic, he was the one that did all this. He was the one that used to inject from Hannah Geist, but something with the virus, they pawned him into doing it. And then they're like, okay, well, it has like a patent. We can't touch Hannah Geist. It's not our client. We're not patented, right?
Yeah.
So VT is the one that did this whole thing. Remember at the end, that woman with the brunette hair is talking to Caleb?
Yeah.
She's the lead on that. She kind of explains, like, it was my idea, genius, right? So they profited off of this because they wanted to have like a cure or another virus that was patented by VT and not Lucas Clinic so they could make more money. So it's I had to watch this film twice, in all honesty. The very first time I saw it, because one, I'm just obsessed with Caleb Landry Jones. I think he's so sexy and he's like such a good actor and he's so weird. So I was very like in awe of him while watching this film. So I was like, wait a minute. So I had to rewatch it to get all these like little things, because it's not an easy film to watch. And if you're like a 15-year-old, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, no.
You're not going to get it.
This movie is like, it's intelligent, but this movie is not really based on characters. It's really based on ideas.
Yeah.
And the idea of, what would we do to be near celebrity?
Yeah.
I think that's what I got from it. It's like, what would the average person do to get famous? Or what would the average person do just to have a taste of
Literally.
celebrityism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like that's pretty fascinating because it's not even literal. Where it's literal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone here wants to know what they felt like.
Yeah.
While they were going through this fever or this cold
or herpes
or the clap or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So to me, I just find that fascinating that people want to get in line for this, and it's funny too because we all do the same thing too.
Oh yeah.
You know, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram, you know, we follow these celebrities and we're like, oh yeah, that's cool, you know, or like he's relatable. I'm gonna double like that. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like they take it in a twisted way.
They take it to a whole nother level
and warp it. Mm-hmm. And I was fairly impressed with this movie. This movie is basically an idea-driven movie, and I think that's why the characters suffer for it.
Yeah.
Because in an interview with Jones, he said that he wanted to do something noirish.
It was kind of noir. It was like a sci-fi noir.
Yeah,
and they didn't want
he
him
wanted
actually
to be distant. You know what I mean? And when he was talking about his performance, it clicked with me, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah. I get the nuances now. I get his performance. I get why he's distant now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they didn't want him at first because they thought he was too young. Yeah. And he is young. He's like
26.
No, now he's 1989, so he's what, 28?
Was it? I thought he was 26 already.
But I'm saying like right now. So this was like years ago. So he was pretty young, and you know, he didn't really have a leading role up until this was like his first leading role.
I think this is his only leading role, honestly.
And it's such a shame because he's so good.
And it sucks that they didn't bring him back for X-Men. I was like,
yeah, I don't know what was that, because he was Banshee in X-Men. So he's done a lot, but he's done a lot of Oscar-nominated films like 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. He was in Get Out as the brother. I hated Get Out, but I wanted to see it because of him. Yeah, he had a mustache in it.
I he's the brother. Pick up on that. Okay.
Yeah, and Get Out, and then he was in The Last Exorcism as the brother as well, and he's been in like No Country for Old Men at the end. He's been in like a lot of like in The Florida Project. He was in The Florida Project, so he's been in like a lot of well-known movies, but he hasn't had a leading role in this. So this was his first, and I don't know. I just thought he was amazing. I joke, like, whenever I'm sick, I'm like, oh, I feel like him, you know, he's like hunching when he has his cane, and he's always falling on the floor. Like every 10 minutes, he's just on the floor. Yeah. Snot coming out, blood, he's so pale and red hair, and he's just so fragile and thin. I don't know, like, I just really felt for him during this movie. You know what I mean? And it's such a good movie to watch in the winter because it's so sterile.
It's
looking.
So cold, too.
It's so cold. And, like, you don't know what year it's supposed to be, which I liked. Everyone in it is just kind of, like, monotone and, like, uniform and, like, you know. So he's kind of, like, the only one who doesn't really give a shit. Like, he's very introverted. But I always watch this during winter because it's always, like, I don't know, you get sick in winter, right, for some reason, and then it's cold and it's white and everything is just so minimalist. He's such a minimalist in this movie, like his apartment, he eats the same things every day. He has like 2 outfits. There's like no decorations. So I don't know, like I just loved watching him, and he is just such a good physical actor as well, but also really good emotionally.
There's a clip going around on Facebook. I can't remember what it is. I've been seeing it though. It's him with an eye patch, and he has like fucking hair, like long ass hair, and it's everywhere, and he's holding a cigarette, and he's sitting next to a dude, and it's a crack up. I can't remember what it is. Have you seen it?
I think so.
That's a movie recently that he's in.
Yeah, okay. So his hair's long again because he cut it off.
It's long, and he's wearing an eye patch, and he has like he's talking in his really high pitched voice. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, he's so crazy. Like, I watch, listen to me, I sound like one of these fan people. Like, I've watched interviews with him, and he's just so... He's such a method actor, though, too. Like, he's just... I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because I watched the making of this movie, because there's a short documentary on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really good. It's on the DVD, too, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And so they were talking about... Yeah, he's really method in the way he goes into his performances.
Yeah, he was very, you could tell he was very serious, and he really got into it.
And you were saying earlier, like before we went on air, that you had a problem with some characters or Malcolm McDowell or what was?
Oh, so
I wasn't.
So Malcolm McDowell is in this. He's not a main character.
He's a side character.
He's only in it for like 5 minutes, really.
But I think he has a great scene, though.
So when I first watched it, I was excited because I'm like, oh yes, Malcolm McDowell, because I could see Caleb Landry Jones being in kind of a Clockwork Orange movie.
I mean, he even says that too.
Yeah,
in the documentary.
He would play that, or he'd even play a good Joker well too. I think because he's just so, I don't know, he's so crazy. But like, so Malcolm McDowell plays Hannah Geist's doctor. And like Caleb meets him at the towards the end, and they're trying to figure out like what's going on. So there's a scene with Malcolm, and he's like, he has these skin grafts on his arm because he's also a fan and a celebrity, right? So he even has Hannah Geist on his arm, like as one of her what is that thing? It's like a skin
graft.
Yeah, skin graft.
It's like a tobacco thing where like they put it on your wrist, and then you
touch it.
Like,
so it's like you're a part of them. You're touching their skin.
That was hella creepy. It's like,
it is creepy.
It reminded me of like the carpet sample where like you're like, touching it. It's like, what the fuck?
Totally. So Malcolm McDowell has this. I don't know. I just felt like his acting in this wasn't. There's like a scene where he's like, and if you forgive me for when I tell you, like it's just not. I don't know.
But right on cue. But to me, I honestly felt that scene was good when he was sitting in the back and he was talking to
Caleb,
to Syd, and he was saying, and he posed him the question, and I thought it was a really fascinating question.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it, it fucking makes sense on why he asked him that, and just by talking to
Malcolm?
you, and just by talking to you about it, it makes sense. It's like, oh, duh, how did I not pick up on that?
Yeah.
And so he's saying, and that's when he showed him the skin grafts, he's all like, so are you a fanboy? Or what was the other thing? Or are you a professional? Or something like that.
And then he goes, are you just another fan? Like the way he says it,
and the look on Syd's face is like bewildered or something like that. Or like he's like, fuck, you figured me out.
Yeah.
And so now just thinking about it and just talking out loud about it, it's like, oh, that whole scene right there,
that should make it click.
That was the key right there, because it was subtle. He didn't overplay it. It was really subtly acted by Syd. And I thought Malcolm did a fine job.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like he's one of my favorite actors, like I love him, but I just felt like it could have been a little bit better.
Hey, remember, he probably just came off Halloween and then went into that movie.
Oh God, don't even get me started on that shit
because he was talking the same way.
Yeah.
I have a really important question.
What's that?
What does bewildered mean?
Belittled or bewittled?
I don't know what he just.
It's like belittle.
I just had to make fun of you. I don't think that's a real word. I think
belittle.
I can't hear you over the blower that's going on. So
it's a word that you're dumb.
Mean bewildered?
Or belittled.
No, not belittled, because he's not belittling them. I'm talking about Syd. He's like, I guess bewildered. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Bewildered.
Like you're going
trying to find the
words like
yeah,
bewildered.
Yeah.
Bewildered. We're gonna have to use that.
Oh my God.
Hashtag bewildered.
Bewildered. Yeah. I'm Wu-Tang over here. I make my own words up.
It's been a long week.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on cue. Right on time.
Well, and so to me, it's like he played that right, and he didn't, overreach in his performance. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, our producer thinks the acting in this wasn't great.
Some of it, yeah.
So who did you not?
I lost. I have to be honest. I completely lost interest in the movie.
It's not for everyone.
Well, I love the idea. Like I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to watch this.
Yeah.
I think it was just too big for its britches. Like it just was too.
The idea was big.
It had too much going on, and they tried to incorporate too many details, and I got it. I mean, it was a smart movie.
Yeah.
I just don't think they pulled it off. I think it ended up, there was, to me, so many, like the taking off the mask, but like the little details, but I'm very detail oriented.
And that's
so
the thing.
I look for those things.
It's such a detailed movie where it's
I'm like, are you worried? Like I was saying earlier, are you worried about getting the virus or not? Like your mask is on, your mask is off. And then the other thing too is when you were saying just now about the like he couldn't tell. Oh my gosh, I lost my train of
that
thought.
Caleb couldn't. He couldn't tell that he was a fanboy.
And that you like. There's clues that we're missing, and then too many things going on. Like why is it that he didn't get that at the end?
I don't know.
There was something else that I wasn't going to talk very much today.
But no, it's interesting because
I feel like I don't have I didn't watch enough to because I lost interest a couple of times and my mind wandered, so I felt like I didn't.
No, and it's hard because like I've shown this to a lot of my friends, and a lot of them fell asleep, and I would get pissed. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how can you not be entertained? And then so a lot of people that I show this to were not into it, and can we pause? Let's pause.
All this is bothering. Take a quick break, really quick. All right, and we're back. Had to take a little bathroom break. Yeah, Lawnmower Man came through and fucked up the whole thing, but that's all right. Good on you, Jeff. Hey, it's all good. Go first.
Oh man. So I think the last thing I was saying, how I tried to get so many friends to watch this movie, and like they fell asleep or they just were not into it. I've only had like one person that was into this movie, so it's very difficult to.
This isn't an acquired taste for sure.
It is an acquired.
Literally.
Jinx.
Oh, you're cold. God damn it.
But yeah, no, like you have to. Like I said, if I was a 15-year-old, I probably wouldn't have liked this. I would have just liked Caleb because I find him really attractive. I wouldn't have liked the movie or the idea. But I'm older, so I don't think this is for a younger audience unless that younger audience is like super into sci-fi.
This is a movie like I brought up Gattaca earlier.
Yeah,
and Gattaca, that. A lot of people say that is the most accurate of a sci-fi film, like, what the future would be like. Yeah. Like, they say that's probably the most accurate film.
Not like The Fifth Element?
Right? But that one is just so intellectual, and it challenges you, and it asks you complicated questions, just like 2001, where it asks you, like the viewer, to actually take these questions into consideration. They give you the questions, but you yourself have to come up with the answers. And
a lot of people too have a really difficult time sitting through 2001. Yeah. It is a long movie as well.
It is a long movie, yes.
So it's just tough, man. Like I said, so Antiviral, it is a long movie. Yeah, there were scenes that could have been cut, or they didn't have to show certain things.
Trimmed. But you know what? For his first
this is his first feature. Yeah.
The confidence behind every fucking scene.
Yeah.
You can tell that he was confident when he was making this movie.
And he was, I could tell he was very precise in what he wanted. Yeah. He had definitely a vision. And, you got to cut him some slack. I mean, to me, this movie, it's so detailed. It is, like I said, it's so sterile. Like everything from set design to the sound to the blood. It gets bloody at the end. There's a lot of blood at the end. And there was just some of the dopest scenes in this is when Syd first begins to hallucinate. He's sitting at his little ready face machine thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then you see in the shot, his mouth turn into this weird thing.
Great.
Yeah, and there's like blood coming from it, and then like the puppet where he becomes like a puppet. That was cool. That was cool. Really cool. And that was very Lynchian.
I was to me, I was like, so I'm a comic book nerd, and I was thinking, oh, that looks like an Omega Red. Omega Red was a Russian mutant who had whips coming out of his arms.
Oh, how creepy.
And so they were like made out of titanium.
Yeah.
And so
that's reminded me of like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 as well.
Oh yeah, for the puppet. Yeah. The puppet gag, yeah.
But sure. Like there was just some really cool scenes like that in this. You know?
There were some really good scenes, like that scene when he gets captured by the rival company.
Oh yeah.
And they try to exploit his death on TV.
Yeah.
By saying, hey, look, since you got Hannah Geis's virus, we're going to show her last moments through you.
Yeah.
And we're going to broadcast it on live television.
Yeah.
and then her like face is plastered all over the room.
The whole room. Her face is in this a lot. Like it's everywhere.
And that's what they were saying too. Is like, you know, she's not in it very much,
but she's in it.
But we need to like drive the point home that she is like a force, or she is someone to be reckoned with.
Yeah, she's in like the news, the magazines, billboards, you know. Well, that wasn't a painting. It was just like a print or something.
Yeah, it was a print.
So she's just like everywhere in this. But that was a cool room though, and it's all white, and he's wearing all white, you know, and he's very pale.
And he's and the juxtapose that with all the blood that's coming
and
out
his
of
freckles,
him, and he's smearing it.
Yeah, and his red hair and his freckles. I don't know, like it was just such a cool like red and white. It's a very red and white film, which is also a symbology for the tulips. Remember in the beginning, the guy at the Lucas Clinic is like, "Did you know healthy tulips don't have they're not multicolored?" And the ones he was holding were sick because it was red and white. So that kind of like leads up to the end where everything kind of being red and white.
Oh, nice.
And so Brandon Cronenberg also had a film, I think, called Broken Tulips, which was his
that was his short.
Yeah, it was his first short. So I haven't seen that, but I'm wondering if
I don't think you can find it. I don't think it's posted anywhere.
It's weird because he's done a lot of shorts, and he has a new feature coming out though, which I'm really excited for.
Oh yeah,
it's another injection kind of movie where they inject things into your brain. Yeah, so I'm like, I really
apple does not far from the tree, huh?
Yeah, I'm really excited for more of his stuff. Actually, I
don't know. I mean, I'm curious. I know he did a short on the ABCs of Death. I don't know which one he did.
I forgot, but he's done a couple of shorts. Like even recently, he's done some shorts.
Yeah, but like they're all either at a festival or they're for college purposes.
They're not like on YouTube or anything.
I can't find anything.
It's hard to find.
And so to me, I don't know. I was fairly impressed with this movie. It's really an idea-driven movie. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think the characters suffer for it. Because there's really not much development between much of the characters. Especially Syd. You know,
you didn't think so?
His journey is interesting, but he's still the same throughout. But, you know, with that twist that, you know, he is a fan at the end. You know, he is a fanboy. Ultimately, when it comes down to... Yes, he's a fanboy, but the journey that you're going on through him, he still stays the same, and he never really learns from it.
Maybe that's like the point, though, right? Because so he's not working at the Lucas Clinic; he sold out, you know,
and he's working for the other company
for VT, yeah. So I don't know. I kind of feel like he was more confident at the end. Like he had more of a. He was a little bit happier at the end because he got what he wanted.
Yeah, to not die. But then
but he's working at another clinic. He's got Hannah in his palms, you know, so...
And he can drink all the blood for free.
He can drink all the blood for free. Oh, speaking of blood, I feel like he would play such a good Lestat vampire. He, like, should be the next Lestat. Like, he just has that down.
I could see that.
I could see that, too.
Has that down.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
And he has an interesting... face and
he's so hot.
And an interesting he has a very interesting performance.
Yeah,
I have to say, and I am curious to see him in other films.
Another film I recommend. It's not horror at all, but if you like drug addict movies that really feel real and they're not sugar coated, no, it's he's in it actually. It's called Heaven Can Wait.
Heaven Can Wait.
Heaven Can Wait. It's on Netflix. It's a true story, and he's in it, and he's got super dark hair. Holy shit, the ending to that, of his character in that, scarred me. Like, that gave me nightmares for what happens to him. It's a very brutal, like, honest movie. Heaven Can Wait. It's on Netflix. And the girl that's in it, this is, like, about her life. So, it's just, I don't know, it's really interesting. They're, like, in New York City. They're drug addicts. They're homeless. Living on the street. And it follows like their journey, and he was with the main girl, but they broke up. But you can see more of him. He's kind of a dick in it, but like what happens to him, like I said, is just really like, whoa. It's a very heavy film. I wouldn't watch it if you're like wanting to like have ice cream and, you know, curl your hair. Like it's definitely not one of those kind of movies.
No, it's a movie that have ice cream and cry.
Yeah, big old Ben and Jerry's and cry. But yeah, that's check that out.
Like I saw Requiem for a Dream, and that fucking movie scarred me.
So those would be a good like double feature.
Man, that'd be a heavy double feature. I would need something hella lighter after that.
I know.
Remember remember Spun.
Oh, I love Spun. Debbie Harry was in that.
I have not seen that yet.
It's a fun movie though.
It's actually on Prime.
They just put it on Prime recently.
So we should definitely watch that.
Yeah.
Because I do want to see that movie.
Brittany Murphy.
Yeah. Wait, I thought that was the girl that played Ally McBeal.
No, it's Brittany Murphy.
That's Brittany Murphy? Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a girl from Ally McBeal for some reason.
No.
The only thing I know for sure is that John Leguizamo's in it.
He's in it. Debbie Harry's in it. A bunch of people are in it. Yeah.
But yeah,
but anyway, I digress.
Heaven Can Wait. That just sounds like a rom-com. That's probably why I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, it's very, very heavy.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, Antiviral is kind of like a drug movie too. Because in a sense, basically, they're all addicted.
They're all addicted. Yeah.
To that.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny too. Before we didn't touch on this, but when Hannah Guys dies, and the butcher shop is selling the last bit of her skin, and there's a fucking line for like a block, waiting to get like a piece of her skin, and then when they're getting it, they're giving them like a little strip of meat.
Little tempeh strip, and that guy's there again from the beginning.
And he fucking broke the fuck out.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, get in line, wait your turn.
It's like, dude, do not touch me, man.
Yeah.
Seriously. I don't know. This movie, I was fairly impressed. You know, I am looking forward to see what he does next. Yeah. I think this movie is not going to be for everyone.
I know it, and that's the hard thing. It's not. Like, people either really like it or they don't. They're not into it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it was a chore to get through, but, you know, it was... It took me a minute to, like, really... You know, focus. I was thinking about it. And I was actually going to give it a second viewing before, but...
I would recommend watching it again just so, like I said, I had to see it twice. So just, you know... I do recommend it because there are things you will catch this time watching it for a second time. I know it's long, but yeah, I think you'll pick up on a little more for sure. It's very, like I said, it's very detailed. If you're not really like listening or watching, you're going to kind of miss something or you won't comprehend something. So, yeah. But like I said, this is such...
What's your rating?
I love this movie. I mean, I give it a 4 out of 5 just because the acting...
Have you did you watch it recently?
I watched it last night again.
Yeah,
it's the 5th time I've seen it.
God damn.
That's
5 too many times.
Well, like I said,
that's 5 times way too many.
Body horror to me, like just seeing him suffer like that, like fuck, like that was such a good... And he was so young and like it was just such a good performance on his part. And I think he should get more notoriety. But just like, I don't know, I love like the sterilization of it and everything's so perfect. You know?
Oh, that's another thing I was going to bring up. That how everything else inside looks so clean. Yeah. But everything outside is just dirty. So dirty.
Dirty. And that's the thing too. Like everyone in this movie too is just so routine. So like I compare it with American Psycho because you know the dinner scene in American Psycho and they're all like bitching and like they're wearing their suits. Yeah. So his coworkers do that a lot in this. You know, they're bitching. Like, it's just very uniform. Like, oh, I hear she doesn't have a vulva. Like, it's just very, what? Like, it's very weird. But I think he meant to do that on purpose. Because you see Syd, who's just so kind of detached from everything. You know, he's just kind of like in his own little world. And I don't know. So I liked the details of this movie a lot. And I notice things like that a lot when I'm watching movies. But I don't know. Like, I just really enjoy it. It's so weird. It's so different. It's such a cool concept. And I wish people would give it a shot and more of a chance.
No, I would agree. I would definitely agree with that. I definitely think people should at least give this a watch because this is a filmmaker, you know, to be reckoned with. And, you know, his next movie is going to be something, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's his first feature. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of those little mistakes or editing choices, you know, they'll be fixed in the next one. You know, again, you learn every time you make one, you know? Yeah.
For sure. So what would you give it? What would your rating give it?
Whoa. Sounds like a fucking tornado in here.
Oh, really? We could edit that out. We could start over.
Oh, man. No, go. I'm kidding. But seriously, though.
We'll edit that out. Okay, so what would you...
Technical difficulties.
What would you rate this?
I'd probably give like a 3.5 Z's out of 5.
Really? So that's higher than your fly rating.
What was my fly rating?
3 out of 5.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, it was like the idea of this movie was just so strong and it resonated with me.
Insane.
And to me, we live in a time now where the next celebrity could go viral for no reason. We live in a time now where everyone has a cell phone and film anything, and something that you can say or do can go viral.
There's
just
so much
like
access to everything.
Yeah, and so to me, it's like any one of us at any given point can be a celebrity for like maybe 5 minutes, and at the same time we can all be exploited for those 5 minutes, whether it be tweets, YouTube, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? And so to me, for this film to take that idea and again literally just say, look, we're gonna do this to you guys, and you guys are still gonna like fight each other over it because this is what you want. And I think it's a really great way to blind the masses. Yeah. Because now you're selling them something like, oh, I can be part of this guy's life or her life. I can be one with them. Yeah. Now, you know? So to me, I find that really fascinating. And like I was telling you, this movie was ahead of its time.
Yeah, I feel like he predicted like what's going to happen because like I said, now celebrities are selling everything. They're selling makeup, perfume, you know, what have you. And it's like,
where it used to be just athletes doing it.
Yeah.
Now it's celebrities. Like, you know, you got Kim Kardashian out there fucking trying to sell dresses and shit. And shoes.
They don't just stop there. They're selling like everything. And then like, but their whole lives are on display. It's like so invasive to me. But it's funny how play on words earlier, like anyone wants to go viral, antiviral. Yeah. I don't know. It's fun on words. I'm a nerd, I know.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to edit that out.
No, that stays in. But you know what I mean though, right? Like there's so much access to things these days and you can find out anything about anyone.
Oh, the one thing I wanted to point out is that there's news footage of someone carrying a bag that's made out of an anus out of a celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
And they use the infrared goggles to say, oh, no, that's really hers because you can see the body heat from it.
Or her underwear. And that was a play on Britney Spears because in like the mid 2000s, Britney Spears, Paris Hilton, and Lindsay Lohan were like the celebs. And whenever, like, because paparazzi just goes insane, right? So whenever they got out of the car, their underwear would show. So that was a play like on that. Or lack of underwear, yeah. And so they didn't mean to flash, but like it happened. So that was like a big play on that, I feel.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. I just thought that was just really weird. It's like, why would you want someone's anus on your shoulder?
That's so gross.
It's like, do you have to wipe that too?
Ew! That's gonna be a lot of toilet paper.
But so, is there any part of the movie that you think it could have benefited by it being taken out?
Yeah, there were some things like towards the middle. There were just some scenes that weren't. He could have edited shorter, right? Like just him walking to the car or like driving up to the mansion. That could have been edited down. Or, one scene that I liked it the first time I watched it, and I don't like it now. It's the scene where he goes with Arvid to meet that guy that's going to sell him. His ready face machine is broken, so he needs a part to fix it. Oh, yeah, so it's that scene when they go in the club, and then he hears something, and he goes and he sees like this like box, and Hannah Geist is naked in it. Yeah, I felt like rewatching that, like they didn't need that. They didn't need to show that. That could have been taken out.
I think that was needed mainly because you needed to see Syd's reaction to that. Like again, you were saying that he's a fan. So,
but it's not really a fan moment though. It's like he's trying to figure out how to get her out of there, or if she was in there, like whatever it was.
Yeah, but to me, that's it's kind of the way of him. Fuck, I just had the thought, and I can't think of it now. God damn it. To me, it didn't bug me as much because I felt like that scene was needed because you need to understand where Syd was coming from. You need to understand that there is a moral compass with him. By him trying to figure out if that's real or not.
Yeah, but maybe it could have been edited down or something. I don't know. Like it just bothered me rewatching that scene last night. I'm like, it wasn't really necessary.
I don't know. I think it was because I think it was important for him because you needed to see if he had a moral compass.
But you knew that he had a moral compass.
No, not really, because he was selling and stealing from his own company, and you know, he was selling cheap product too. You know what I mean?
But he wasn't like a bad guy to me. You know, yeah, he was working black market, but who doesn't? You know?
But
it's like
he's not a typical bad guy per se. But you know, you need to see that he had a conscience.
Maybe they could have edited it shorter then, or done something else that was shorter. I don't know.
I don't know, because you need to see Hannah Geist in that situation. You need to see her in that because you need to see how prevalent to them she is in their world.
What I wish they could have done is maybe held her hostage or something. You know, because they wanted to market off of her, right? The Vol.
Well, they kind of did.
No, because she was at that and that weird mansion was cool because everything's dead. There's like dead bugs. The plant was dead. There's no water in the pool. I wanted kind of more of that, actually.
I felt like if this movie would have concentrated a little bit more on the mystery of why Hannah got sick,
but they explained that though at the end.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is that like I kind of wish that was the story because you have like a couple different stories. You have like him selling from the black market, and him owning Arvid. You know, the rival company. You know, the end game is the rival company because the end game is Hannah Geist. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to see the journey of him going through all this, like kind of like an espionage kind of film. You know, but that's just me though. But I think this movie was solid. It's a really good idea. Other than that,
was there any scenes that you would have cut out?
Maybe that meow. No, I don't think so. I don't think I would cut any scenes. I try to leave it as is. I would put in the scene where he meets Doug again, though, because that is a deleted scene. Yeah. And after Hannah dies, he goes back to go see Doug, and he's gonna extract the herpes out of him to sell. And so I wish they kept that in because to me that's telling because now again it goes back to my point where everyone can be anyone. Now he is someone. He's finally gotten there. He's like, people are gonna come to me now. That's true. They're gonna want what I have. And I saw that scene on YouTube and I was like, fuck, see right fucking there. Yeah. If you would have kept that scene, boom. Yeah. You know, because then the idea would have been flushed out. And then what you're trying to say would have been a little bit, you know, broader. Yeah. And saying what you're trying to say. I can see that. I understand that you got to cut it down for time. Yeah. They're probably, like you said, there's probably like certain scenes that they could have trimmed down. They could have
trimmed a little bit,
but if they would have added that scene after Hannah dies and then explained how he got caught by his own company. Yeah. To me, I felt that this movie would have been more fleshed out.
I could see that.
Because if you watch those two scenes, like it makes a whole lot of sense, and it just really fleshes out the idea.
Another thing too, you have to remember is like we live in such an ADD generation where people want it like I need this now. This movie has to be now. People don't have the patience to sit. Like imagine people watching like if Kubrick was alive today making something. People would not have the patience, right?
They'd walk out.
So this is kind of that style. Like, no, like just it's 2 hours of your time. Put your fucking phone away and watch the movie. Like, what do you have to do for the next 2 hours? So it is kind of that mentality. Yes, it's long, but we're so used to things not being long anymore.
You know, I recently heard, I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was from the Shockwaves podcast or Mick Garris. But one of them said that they were talking about Kubrick. And I just want to point this out really quick. That, you know, Kubrick's films aren't films to be watched once. They're films to be watched twice. Yeah. Because the first time you watch a Kubrick film, you're like, eh. But then when you watch it again, you see things.
There's so much going on.
There's like a lot of things. Yeah. Like, it was Pure Cinema. They were talking about that. They were saying, Barry Lyndon is one of his worst movies because it's so boring. Yeah. But Adam Rifkin watched it on the second time and said, that movie's fucking hilarious. There's so much in there that's so funny. Yeah. The Shining, not a good horror adaptation, but if you watch it, you realize that The Shining is a satirical on horror films. In 2001, you know, that's like a satire on sci-fi, but there's more layers to it. Eyes Wide Shut, you know?
Which I was not a fan of, Eyes Wide Shut.
But if you watch it again, you would realize it's not a drama, it's a black comedy. It's
a comedy?
It's a black comedy.
I just saw it as like a couple, like...
No, it's not a drama film. It's not a drama film. It's a black comedy. On the second viewing,
I've seen it like 3 times.
If you watch it, going into mind thinking like it's supposed to be funny, you're going to have the time of your life. Because it's going to be funny. Everything in there is going to be like, oh shit, this is pretty fucking hilarious.
I wrote a whole essay in college because we had to study that film.
Uh-huh.
And I fucking butchered it because I was like, this is the last film he's going to go on. Like, this was his last. And I fucking hated it. So, I don't know. Like, I studied the shit out of that movie.
But again, you know, I haven't watched it in a very long time. But when I was hearing these filmmakers talk about it, like Adam Rifkin, he was talking about it. He was saying, yeah, like, there's so much to it. If you watch it on a second viewing, you go into it.
There's so many layers and levels.
And so, not to get off point, but like I'm saying, but it kind of goes back to Antiviral, where if you watch it again, oh goddamn,
it's a cat circus in here.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But no, I see what you're saying. Like, I feel like this is one of those kind of films. Like, you got to watch it more than once.
Yeah, because then you pick up on more things, and then you'll see that it's a satire, or if it's a sci-fi movie, or you know, again, like on a second viewing. Coming off of a first viewing, you have some to go with, but then what information you have to go with gets more expanded when you pay attention to it closer.
And you got to pay attention to this,
Yeah, so to me, it's our Antiviral.
Okay.
So far, I was fairly amused. It was okay, I guess. It's all right.
Okay, you gave it a 3.5. That's a good rating. I'll take that.
I'm gonna downplay it right now.
Should we draw? Okay. Should we? Well, you know, mine is 4 out of 5. I love this movie. I love Caleb Landry Jones so much. Yeah. All about it. Hashtag all about it. Do you want to do the next week's draw?
We have to use your hat because I didn't bring my hat in.
Okay. Here's dirty today.
And the movie is Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
That's your pick.
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
But a lot of people like that and know about it, though.
Well, that movie didn't get him a whole lot of love, and still...
Really?
Yeah, it didn't get a lot of...
I feel like everyone I know, like, loves that movie.
They love it now, but they didn't love it then,
at the time.
Which is going to be the topic of discussion.
Okay,
why this movie tanked.
Where is it streaming?
I think it's on Shudder.
Okay.
Or
Amazon.
I know it's on Amazon. Okay. No, it's not on Amazon.
It's not? I don't have my phone.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. We're gonna go do a group meet. Go see The Predator. Like I said last week in Black & Decker, I Trust.
And Boyd Holbrook, who's so sexy, is the lead character in this. Just gotta point that out.
Oh my god.
He's so hot. Oh my god, he was so hot in Logan. Holy shit.
I thought you were gonna go with Narcos.
No, because he has a weird like mustache.
You didn't like the porn stash?
No. And he's a Virgo, so I'm like,
oh yeah, it's on Shudder.
It's on Shudder?
It's on Shudder.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we're gonna be hitting you with 2 episodes. Our Predator review will be, so by the time this airs, this will be on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So this weekend on the 23rd, Sunday night, our review for The Predator will go up, and then our Behind the Mask episode will go up that Tuesday night on YouTube and Podbean at Bump in the Night Podcast, TVZ Studios. Wait. Oh yeah, so I need to edit this shit down.
Yeah. Today is just one of those days.
I think you meant fleshed out when you kept saying fleshed out.
Yeah, whatever.
Toilet flushed out?
I heard flushed out more than once. I'm like,
flesh.
Flashed out, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those days, people.
It is.
Look, man, we got to keep them entertained. If they're not entertained, then yeah.
Are you not entertained?
So by the time this airs, we'll be hitting you with 2 episodes. Our Predator review will end up on Sunday the 23rd, and then our Leslie Vernon episode will air that Tuesday night.
Okay, cool.
So that's it for us for the Bump in the Night staff. I'm Johnny Zuko, the boogeyman.
And your Crypt Keeper's mistress, Elisa.
All right, and we gotta go.
Stay scary.
Bye.
Bye.